I believe it was Richard Baxter, one of the classic voices of the past and of preaching in particular, who told us what preaching is all about. He said when you preach, you should feel that you stand between the living and the dead. I think I somehow came to believe that early in my life, partly because I spent the first dozen years of my life sitting in the pews of a rescue mission, Helping Hand Mission, where every evening the attendance was made up almost entirely of men from the streets, hobos, derelicts, hopeless people who found there a place to be warm and to listen to whatever happened there. I always had the feeling that if you didn't reach those people that night, you might not reach them at all. And I've never gotten over that. Whether I was preaching to a congregation in a sophisticated setting or on a street corner, that this might be the one chance you'd have to reach somebody. Not because they might die that night, but there's a time in the souls of human beings when you hear better than at other times. And you want to reach a soul when you can reach them. So that's why I have always preached with the sense that this is in some way for somebody, not necessarily a last chance, but a strategic chance. And you want therefore to get through to them at that point. I feel the same thing, especially then, about anything that's recorded of a sermon. For all but 1 year of the many years that I was a pastor, I was on the air, on the radio, some years also on television, but on the radio for 36, 37 years. I learned that there were some people who didn't go to church, but they listened to the radio. They knew me by voice alone. And through that, I was somehow their tie to eternity. Every sermon, therefore, seems to me to be somebody's tie to eternity. And when it's delivered through a human voice, however faltering or incapable or insubstantial that voice may be, that still is a human voice, God's word to human beings. And that's the mood of a sermon as my soul sees it. That's what I hope to hear when I go to hear someone preach. That's what I hope to deliver when I stand in the pulpit. And whether the sermon comes, therefore, to people physically present, or through radio, or later through a recording or a disc, if we can get through that, the voice of God, now, to a human being now, then eternity is still at work in our world.